Hey y'all, it's Andrew. Welcome back to The Snake's Paw. Today we have a basic pitch for you, courtesy of Matthew. Here he is.
Anyway, I think that's what Jean-Paul Sartre meant when he said the agony of existentialism. Anyway, what were we talking about again?
Oh, yeah. So I've got a pitch for y'all.
Oh,
today.
right.
So y'all are going to have to help me out a lot because this is the barest sketch of an idea.
Ooh.
So you've got sort of a subgenre of horror film, which is the exorcism movie.
Oh, yeah. Those are really hot right now.
Yeah. And a lot of exorcism movies is just a person who's possessed and they're just doing wacky stuff. But
I love wacky. Like, look at this wacky demon.
just pea soup and what have you.
You make it seem so charming.
And well, so that's kind of where I'm leaning a little bit. So in the original Exorcist, the girl who gets possessed, the demon who possesses her, has like a personality. There's like sort of a dynamic. There's almost like a rapport between the priest and the demon. The demon's mostly just fucking with the priest, and the priest is trying to get the demon out of the girl.
If I ever make like an exorcism movie like that, I hope someone like you writes the description on the back cover. So like what's this movie about? Well, the demon's just fucking with the priest for an hour and a half.
So it's sort of a buddy comedy kind of concept, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, the direction I was leading is, well, what if there's this exorcist who goes around exorcising demons, and there's just this one demon who's he's just constantly got to deal with. Like every third person he has to exorcise is the same demon who comes back. And partly because like the demon starts to like become fond of the priest, and so he really just wants to hang out with him. So he has to possess someone, not really because he wants to possess them, just because he wants to hang out with this guy.
He has to make sure he's possessing someone in that priest's jurisdiction.
My initial instinct is, like you said, kind of a buddy comedy or like a buddy cop type thing, where the priest and the demon have to like pair up to fight against evil.
I just really want to highlight, I want the word evil, the way you said it, with a question mark and an exclamation mark, to figure into probably a subtitle of this thing. I know we're not there yet.
But the demon's a demon, so like what are they fighting? What would a priest and a demon team up against? My first thought was aliens.
Oh my god, yes! I am on board with this completely.
Because the aliens would be trying to encroach upon the demon's territory. They're not going to be into that.
Like the aliens have their own heaven and hell and demons and angels, and like like we just have, you know, earth angels and earth demons.
Yeah, they have like a whole different cosmology
that
they're bringing with them. All right, so yeah, maybe there's like an alien invasion, and like the humans have to fight the aliens, and the demons have to fight the alien demons.
So this kind of reminds me of the Prophecy, the Christopher Walken movie. It's been a million years since I seen it, but there was one part in there where there was like an idea that angels and demons are fighting, and demons had to like go to Earth to find a soul that was so evil that it could come up with something that even demons couldn't think of. And I like the idea that like if they are teaming up, like maybe the enemy would just be like a really, really bad human who is just so bad the demons are like, oh man, how are we gonna take this guy down? We're gonna have to recruit the help of a priest. And the demon is like, I know just the guy, but he's got a restraining order against me.
I do like the idea that the demon has to like overcome the priest's general resistance to hanging out with the demon to get him on board with this whole thing.
Oh my gosh, that would be great too if it's not like he's just obsessed with the priest. If he actually has to like recruit the priest all of a sudden, like maybe he spends the first 20 years of the priest's life like torturing him for fun, and then finally he finds out like, oh, we actually need him to do us a favor, and all the other demons are like, you know the guy, you go talk him into it. So he's like, hey, priest buddy, remember me? And the priest is like, back to hell with you. He's like, no, really, hear me out. I'm here in good terms.
Which it would be that demon who basically like drove him to the priesthood to begin with. So in a way he could be like, look, you kind of owe your whole direction in life to me. So how about I change your whole direction in life again? You can see like
Oh, God.
a not very persuasive persuasion act being done. And those are always fun to watch someone try to pull off.
I'm just trying to think of like the other ways he can try to like make things better with the priest. Like, what do you do? An edible arrangement? You know, a little note that like, sorry about the last 20 years.
Yeah, he possesses people to like do him favors and stuff like that. And the priest is like, you can't possess people for this.
Like he's going to
It's still bad.
he's going to the bank and he's like, hey, listen, I need to pull out $100 to pay this bill. And suddenly the bank teller's like, sure thing, Bill. Wait, how'd you know my name? Nothing. Here's $1,000. Like, damn it, Azazel. I know it's you.
Also like the idea of, this might be getting ahead of ourselves a bit, but a sequence where the demon is like jumping from body to body, like possessing different people on the fly in like an action sequence.
And he's just trying, like he's trying to do ultimate ignoring, where he's just going through a crowd, and Azazel's like, wait, you can't run from me. Yes, I can. Yeah, but I'm over here.
And he's just continually throwing holy water at people and like exorcising him from one person after another. And
so this is an unrelated but important idea that I came up with a long time ago. An app that will say the Latin incantations for a necessary exorcism, and you can also do it in different languages and stuff. And then I kind of came up with the genius idea of like you could just speed it up, you know, because a computer recording or whatever can speak 10 times faster than a human. So you could actually have just a rapid exorcism app on your phone. You could just press it. He could just be going through the mall with his exorcism app and like, you can't run from me forever. Presses the button, like, throw some holy water on them, and they scream as the demon leaves them and falls over. And then he keeps walking, and then another person. That could make for some more wacky hijinks when they're looking at the security footage later. They just see a random man throwing water on people and them screaming and falling over.
Yeah, well, and like I feel like there's like very clearly the priest is kind of the straight man here, and could be very much like a traditionalist, wants to do things the proper way, like maybe even wants to give the demons the respect of like, or maybe the intimidation of like an individualized exorcism, or maybe it's respect to the individuals who are possessed. One way or another, there's a value to like doing the thing all the way.
Yeah, and he specializes in like bespoke exorcisms.
That's right. But once the demon is like possessing an entire mall's worth of people at the same time is when he finally like resorts and presses the big red button.
Oh, well, then the obvious, end of first act, get him on board with the plan. I guess it'd be maybe second act. Thing would be he goes into like a really difficult exorcism, the sort of thing that like, you know, it takes a priest who's been doing this for 90 years, who knows all the tricks to get this particular demon unrooted from this innocent little girl. And he's like going in, he's doing all of the tricks he can think of, and nothing's working. And then finally Azazel pops up behind him and is like, hey, I know that guy. You want me to just have a word with him? And he's like, yeah. Cool. We'll talk after.
So, and I do think that would be a big part of the fun of it, is having the priest like slowly get won over by this demon.
And then afterwards, he's like, thanks, now let's talk about these aliens.
Yeah, so like the idea that the aliens have their own totally separate cosmology. I mean, that
might be...
I think
can be complicated.
There has to be some reason why this is the only priest who can help them. And I like the idea that like the first 20-something years of his life, he was going to go into like work for NASA or something, and he's like been getting top secret security clearance and working at Area 51, and just happens to have already studied alien demons for some reason. So he's uniquely situated to be the only person on Earth who knows about alien demons and knows how to do exorcisms. And it's kind of like Armageddon, when it's like it's easier to just teach oil riggers how to be astronauts than to teach astronauts how to... It's just easier to get this guy than to teach regular exorcists how to alien.
Because alien exorcisms obviously wouldn't be in Latin. They'd be
they'd be in
alien,
space Latin.
like a dead alien language.
I feel like we could maybe tie the whole thing together and give it that sort of irreplaceable... and actually call it Space Latin, please. If we really want to tie all this together and not have the aliens be too kind of out of the blue, as it were, then I imagine we could go a little bit Dan Brown on this thing, and make it where like this is the priest who has figured out the trail of clues through like ancient Christianity that points to the fact that demons are in fact aliens and always have been, and that's how demons first came to Earth. And this is like the other aliens that they left behind, like chasing after them. And it's like, you want to know what's worse than demons is these guys. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of situation.
That actually makes more sense, I guess.
And we could, I mean,
and it kind of pares it down a bit.
Yeah,
It's you don't have to have a whole alien theology.
And we don't necessarily have to have clues spread in a trail through like Renaissance art, but we could.
Yeah, which is always fun.
Why
That's
not?
always
We could do like a National Treasure first act.
This could also be an explanation for like the origins of Christianity. So we can like choose a timeline, put it like these aliens arrived, like it depends on how Old Testament respectful we want to be, but like, you know, put it like
I feel
3,000
like
years ago, and
a little bit not 100% Old Testament respectful, then you're already opening a can of worms. So if we're gonna do it, we lean hard into it, or we don't do it at all. So I say we just go ahead and like Jesus was an alien, and that's why he had all these abilities to turn water into wine. It was actually space wine. Oh God, bring Jesus back for like the the final battle. Like they roll back the stone and he's like, I've just been waiting for the final battle, and he cocks a shotgun.
God. Jesus emerging. So like Easter meets kind of like Transformers Assemble kind of moment.
I love a Transformers Jesus.
I don't know why, but well, I mean, what do you think the apostles were for?
all the apostles just
you're saying
assemble into Jesus.
Oh, like so, like a
It's
Voltron
it's
Jesus,
like a
where like
Power
all
Rangers
the
type thing. Where all the...
I'll form because you got too many to just be like, I'll form the leg. I'll form from the ankle to the knee, and I'll form from the knee to the groin on the left side.
So do we have the same? If the demons are aliens, do we have the same ones that first arrived here, or are we like a few generations down, but they've like inherited the names and stuff?
I like the idea that there are generations of demons, and like,
and our demon at some point can be like, there was a story my grandpa told me.
So what's the lifespan of a demon? Is it just the same as a human? Like they live to be 70 or 80, depending on how healthy they are, and then when they die, they just die?
Clean 1,000 years and just instantly blown out like a candle.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, easy.
Hence 3,000 years, we're 3 generations down. Who remembers anything
Perfect.
3 generations later?
His grandfather would be the one who was being chased by the other aliens.
That's right. And it's like Grandpa and his crazy war stories.
We're going to call this movie Blasphemy. Just want people to know what they're getting in for.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy!
Yes. That was perfect.
I mean, what I love about that title, among other things, that is, okay, 4 consonants in a row, not that remarkable, but like BLASTphemy, you have to like say, your mouth has to sort of explode in the middle of the word to say it correctly. I love the idea of getting the entire nation to struggle to pronounce the same word at the same time, so that alone would have brought me on board. Blasphemy, awesome. A fight against ... evil? Question mark, exclamation mark.
I like
that's a good combo too. I like the ambiguity there.
So the main character, the former treasure hunter, military, whatever, now priest, alien hunter, exorcist, Jonathan BLASTphemy. He's gonna be an everyman character.
Who doesn't find something in there to ID with, right?
Exactly.
I think maybe his character arc, besides getting over distrusting demons, getting over his prejudices, is maybe overcoming his fear of new technologies, because he doesn't like using the exorcism app until he has to.
Yeah, well, I feel like that can be a stand-in for something bigger in his past, something that like scared him off of really completing the puzzle. So when he was investigating the origins of the demons. I mean, something about it, something about the means, something about the implications. It like spooked him at the last minute. He didn't quite connect the puzzle, so he didn't figure out what the aliens' like ultimate weakness was. And so
And it has to be something related to technology.
yeah, so he's got to lean into like trying new things in order to really like see this all through to the end. And if that's the case, then by the end of the story, he has a weapon that could obliterate all demons everywhere, not just exorcise them, but like obliterate them. And he and his friend demon have to reckon with that.
I'm not suggesting that this is what we do, even though I've suggested sillier things, but this is the idea that popped into my head when you were describing like some sort of technology that like scared him off. Was he's just deciphering hieroglyphics, and like his assistant is like, hey, check out my laser pointer, and points it in his eye, and then he goes blind. For the rest of the movie, he's got an eye patch. He's like, I don't trust technology. Technology took my eye. And then at the end, when he's fighting alongside Jesus against anti-Jesus alien, he's like, well, I guess maybe I should give this a try again, and pulls out a lightsaber or whatever technology there is.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm not
Jesus
saying we do
throws him
this.
a laser gun. A laser
Jesus
rifle.
throws him a laser gun. He's like, I can't do it. It's technology. And Jesus is like, yes, you can. I'm Jesus. I'm telling you.
We could also have a scene where like a light comes down from a cloud, like a but then it's like a mothership coming down out of the sky.
I'm
So
curious,
how do we...
in this cosmology, like, do we have angels?
Yeah, that's because maybe there's different like factions of aliens. Because even in Christian theology, or at least a lot of the Christian like mythology, demons are angels who revolted.
Sure.
So, in theory, I guess the aliens who are coming to the planet could be angels.
Oh yeah, because they're still like we didn't get the mark of the fallen, whatever.
Sure, they're coming to catch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we have to.
It turns out the aliens, like the angels, aren't necessarily good.
They're just not. It's like they're not proven guilty, but we all know they did it, kind of. Like. And then we could actually make them biblically accurate angels.
Yeah, with like 1,000 eyes.
The 1,000 eyes and the
wings
concentric circles and the squeedly spooch.
Yeah, talk about, I mean, seeing that come down through the clouds. That is, that's far from a Renaissance painting.
Andrew, was it you who told me, because I just recently found this out, and I can't remember who told me, that a more accurate translation of that famous Bible line that the angels were saying, the be not afraid, was this you?
I don't think so.
So someone went back and looked at the original Aramaic and was like, yeah, okay, be not afraid is an acceptable translation, but a more accurate translation is please stop screaming.
Wow, no, that was
And
not
I was like,
me.
yeah, that makes sense.
Oh.
I just love the idea of these alien
Like I have
angels
something important to
popping
tell
up.
you.
But please, everybody stop screaming.
Calm down, calm down.
Be not afraid.
I can also see from that, like, angels who are, especially if it's angels who aren't necessarily good, they're just kind of on the side of the law. That if they're coming in, if angels are a little bit, like, obsessive about order and consistency, and so we are maybe, like, the only planet out there that has life of the kind that ours has, and it just ticks them off. Like, they just gotta come over here and like give it a good scrub, and and then really like that's the stakes for them, is just like it just looks wrong, it just needs cleaning, and then we can
like
finally
smudge
sleep again
on the perfectly clean
So
pane
here's
of the
our
universe.
plan.
That's
First,
right.
we're going to kill all your demons, and the humans are like, yay, and then we're going to give you guys another great flood. Whoa, and then we're going to go. We'll be back.
So we have to join up with the demons to resist the angels flooding the earth.
because I feel like we do have to probably do a little bit of work to make the angels unsympathetic, so making them terrifying and thousand-eyed or otherwise just extremely not human, and making them want to exterminate us out of a matter of just kind of personal aesthetics.
Yeah, just being OCD.
Yeah.
Now, In that case, because we brought up the notion of Jesus being an alien, being involved in this, like, what's his role in this? Because presumably, if he's joining sides with the demon and the priest, he's not on the side of the angels, but he's not necessarily pro-demon either. I guess he just wants to protect humanity? Or maybe he's a human-alien hybrid?
Oh, yes, he's got to be a human-alien hybrid.
Oh, yeah, because
his
conception.
mother is going to be Mary, and his father is going to be the king alien, God. Yep.
I was wondering,
just bumped our
too,
blasphemy to the top.
Yeah.
if this is about, like, bringing the whole kind of, like, everybody's motives into clear focus. I was wondering as well, and maybe this leads us to an answer on Jesus. What the demons want out of all the possession and stuff, because it makes sense if they're running away, if they're like rebels, it makes sense that they're kind of running and hiding on an obscure planet. And in that case, the angels are really showing up to, like, get rid of them, but they're kind of getting rid of us in the process.
There's an implication that this all kind of dances around, and that is that we wouldn't be the only planet with life, because otherwise, obviously, the angels should go straight to Earth. Like, maybe there's just so many other planets that have life that the demons were like, we're just going to pick this one no one really pays attention to. We're going to go there, and we could actually just put everything into, like, we could explain how demons have guided human technology towards exploring the stars, because they got here on a spaceship in 1000 BC, and, like, it broke. You know, it was a pyramid, I guess. And
we're
a
little too late to give I mean, we're very late to the party on giving aliens agency for pyramids, so we ourselves are late. But our arrival date of 3,000 years ago, a little too late for giving aliens credit for pyramids.
What just suddenly showed up 1,000 years BC?
Let me just check Wikipedia right fast.
Assuming I know way more about history than I do.
Well, I didn't know that fact about pyramids.
Yeah, pyramids are like, what, 4,000 BC or something?
I don't know.
3,000 BC?
Andrew apparently studies pyramids more than either of us. So
I'm down for that relative flex.
while you're looking up what we could pretend was actually an alien creation, I'll roll ahead with this crazy thought, and it's that so they've been guiding mankind towards the stars, and now that we're almost there, and, like, we kind of are getting close to being able to send people to colonize other planets, and that was the demons' plan all along. Maybe that's part of why they possess people. They possess people who they think need to be possessed in order to guide things. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but, you know,
yeah, based on the way possessed people typically behave.
Yeah, they don't, like, get possessed. I mean, like, this is the formula you're supposed to use for rocket fuel, you idiots.
Maybe they're possessing people who are potentially impeding their progress.
Like, the senator was supposed to sign the bill condemning the rocket fuel, but he was busy at his niece's exorcism. Anyway, and that is why the angels have to come and kill them and kill us, because we're not allowed to leave our cage, and we've just figured it out.
I missed all of that because I was reading an article about the 1000s BC, and what's fun about that on Wikipedia is just, man, fraught with specificity. And it turns out when you look at the 1000s BC, they're talking about a decade. And so, yeah. So, man, like, what happens in that, like, 10-year period? So candidates for what it looks like for the aliens to arrive. So we could decide that there is something about alien origins in King David of the ancient Israelites or Solomon. We also could decide that it has something to do.
King Solomon of King Solomon's mines fame?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We also have Zoroaster of Zoroastrianism.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. A prototypical.
It's a busy decade.
Well, and admittedly, Zoroaster's approximate date, the estimate range extends from 1000 BC to 600 BC. So we've got quite a delta there.
Okay.
My favorite, though, is about 1000 BC is when Hungarian separates from its closest linguistic relatives, the Ob-Ugric languages. So if that's not an alien meteor impact event, I don't know what is. Assyrians started to conquer their neighboring regions around then, too. That's suspicious. So we've got lots of options.
So the Assyrians were aliens. Zoroaster was just an alien.
Who was 400 years late, right?
I mean, you know, they lived to be 1,000.
Guys, why'd you leave me behind?
Guys.
I like that we've extended our blasphemy into other religious systems.
Blasphemy is very, I mean, especially if you're trying to, like, make up a story that explains all of history, like, the scope creep on blasphemy is going to get really massive.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think we're inventing here, if we're talking about, like, merchandising opportunities, you know, my God, I mean, you could start a religion on the back of this, and that would be extremely profitable. And it would be like a blasphemy-proof religion.
There already has to be a religion where angels are aliens, right? Like, that has to be a thing.
Yep.
Angels are aliens.
Are you Googling angels are aliens right now?
I
I
am.
hope so.
Introduction from Angels to Aliens, YouTube, Ancient Aliens were mythical fallen angels actually, ... Man, join us at AlienCon to see your favorite experts.
What?
Also, we were talking earlier about biblically accurate aliens. Maybe
Biblically accurate
or angels. So, sorry.
So if I ever need a new trivia team name, Biblically Accurate Aliens is going to be a contender.
So, yeah, biblically accurate angels. You have, maybe it's not the angels themselves that look like this. Maybe it's the ship. So there's like all these lights that are like interpreted as eyes, and there's like concentric rings that are spinning. So to create the centrifugal force needed to maintain like a reasonable gravity on a ship.
Oh,
I'm hearing
that's a thing.
a real downer amount of physics going on here.
Sorry.
We will get all of the science. We'll cram it into like 20-second explanation from the nerd.
That's right. There will be one character with glasses.
Oh, he's going to be the one who wrote the app. He's going to be like, I got a bunch of, like, he's the Q for the exorcist who comes in. And he's like, hey, I have this app that exorcises demons in 20 seconds flat. And also, did you know centripetal force is required in space?
Just holding on sequitur.
He's got, like, and this is my laser pen. And the priest is like, no laser pens. He's like, oh, your eye. I'm sorry, I forgot. I have a robot eye. No.
Oh, man, maybe we can incorporate Leviathan into this. Maybe
Leviathan is going to have
like,
to fight the Voltron Jesus.
It's like another alien but it's like not put of the alien race. It's just like an alien creature from this other planet. I'm just trying to think of ways to spice up the climax.
Sure.
Because we definitely don't have enough yet. You know what this final battle between Voltron and Jesus, lightsaber, and the aliens needs? A little bit of spice.
And if the angels are really germophobic, you could really justify that by, like, they don't want to get their hands dirty, and maybe they're, like, morally concerned. Like, we don't like to be the ones who kill people, but we can, like, you know, sprinkle your planet with some bait, and we know certain things that'll show up when they smell this on your planet.
The planet swallowing Leviathan is being attracted to the stink bait they put in our atmosphere.
Stink bait. So that could be the means of destruction, which we haven't really thought about so far.
And now I'm thinking, and this is not related to this specifically, how come angels don't possess people if demons can possess people? Do angels just not do it, but they can? Or they just don't want to? Or is it like there's certain powers you can only get if you're a demon, like with the Force, where only the dark side gets the electric hands?
Yeah, it might be a moral objection.
Sort of a free will dealio.
It's like a rule, yeah.
I mean, they could still possess, like, corpses.
Man, and then somewhere in this we learned that zombies have been the good guys all along.
Oh my gosh.
Man, we're getting there's a lot of moving parts in this now.
We're going to have to, like,
we got aliens,
pepper
we got
that in
Leviathan,
early.
we got
It's like,
zombies.
suddenly there are zombies, but the zombies seem like they're pretty okay. And Azazel's like, no, don't trust a zombie. It's actually just alien angels. Never trust a zombie.
Very early in the movie, so you have no idea what he's talking about.
Shut up, Azazel. No one knows what you're talking about. Sprinkle.
All right.
Yeah.
Got a lot of work with here. We should probably cut it off at some point.
I feel like we generally carry these things to where we have a like paralyzing number of ideas. So I think we've really brought it to that sweet spot.
Okay, cool.
There's either a series in this that will go on forever, or there's a lot of trimming to do.
Get like Supernatural, where there's 50 seasons.
Yeah. Or just a movie and then several sequels. We could introduce the zombies in the sequels, maybe.
That's right. Yeah, we don't want to overload people with the zombie aliens. Yeah.
Amp up the stakes with Leviathan in the second movie. Yeah.
But then where do you go from Leviathan?
That's true. Maybe that's the third movie you got to save him for. So the zombies in the second movie and then Leviathan.
That's right. Leviathan is our Death Star.
It's a trilogy, a trinity, you know?
Oh, gosh.
Sorry. On that note.
BLASTphemy, the fight against evil, the Trinity.
Gosh.
Yeah.
If you keep going, then of course, like the next one, they're going to go back in time. It'll be BLASTphemy from the past for me. The second one's going to be Too Blast, Too Fast.
Jack, you clearly mispronounced Too Fast.
Okay. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, we'll start the crowdfunding soon.
We'll pass the offering plate.
Oh, I bet there's some version of a thing we could legally get away with, where we just go to churches and we talk about, we really want to make a story that highlights the battle between good and evil, between demons and angels, and we need some money to get the good news, the message out there into theaters, and don't say anything specific.
Because we weren't making people angry enough already.
Only every time we do that, we have to say evil?
It's the fight between good and evil?
And if we can convince people even after doing that, then we deserve whatever we get. Blast from the past. There we go, y'all. Another basic pitch. Thanks for listening and for tolerating us. As always, you can find us at thesnakespaw.com and on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at thesnakespaw. You can also find us at ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/thesnakespaw, where a lovely band of people supports the show. Thanks to y'all and to all y'all. See you next time.